Hello everyone, my name's Kay Mackenzie and welcome to our beautiful chair yoga video for Active Aging Australia. I'm delighted to be doing this for you, and it's a beautiful class and it's actually suitable for everybody. With active aging we're all actually actively aging, aren't we? But I know some of us might be a bit younger and this is still a really lovely class to do. You don't have to be just confined to a chair to appreciate this class. It may be a knee problem. You may love yoga, but you can't do it because it affects your knees. So this will be lovely. I've got a few things just to point out before we get going. Always have your water bottle handy so that you can stop and have a drink whenever you like, and also a towel. I've brought some little blocks here with me today. If you are a tinier person of shorter stature, when we do some of the things moving it to the back a bit, you can pop your feet on these. We can turn it either way, it doesn't really matter. And then you're in the right angle, which I'll be talking to you about when we get into mountain pose shortly. So that's comfortable, and there's another exercise later on we can use it for. But you may not need that. Another thing you can do is use a cushion. We're going to be sitting forward in the chair for most of the class, but if you feel that you need some more support there, then you can put a cushion back here and that just gives you that extra support. So we're just going to start off with a bit of a centering, a bit of a meditation, and just comfortably relax into our chair. I'll invite you to close your eyes. You don't have to sit in mountain pose at this point. You can just sit back, relax in the chair, wherever you're comfortable. At the moment your feet don't even have to be on the floor exactly. So we're just going to sit and relax. Just placing the hands on the legs, and I'll talk about those later. If you're comfortable, closing the eyes. If you're not comfortable, then just lowering the gaze down. So you're just looking down to the floor. Whatever's good for you. So we're just going to breathe to start off with. This is just a setting us up for the focus of the class, centering our bodies. And breathing. This is really important. I'll remind you about the breathing all the way through. As you inhale, your belly rises, it comes out. And as you exhale, it comes back in. Now you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or you can do the yoga breathing of in through the nose and out through the nose. Whatever is good for your body today. So we're just setting our focus, centering ourselves, setting ourselves up for a beautiful class that we're going to cover most parts of the body really. So just keep that breathing going. Getting into our zone. And just soften the face. Feel that you've got a little smile on your face. Just relaxing through those cheeks and jaw. And that's all we have to do to set ourselves up. If your eyes are closed, just lower the gaze a little bit and then just blink a couple of times to open. And then everyone, just set yourselves up to sitting. Now we're going to come to mountain pose, which is our foundation for chair yoga. So now I'll encourage you to come forward in the chair, and the squishy bits of your bottom, if you can just sort of squish side to side there, you'll feel that you're sitting firmly there. Now we're going to look down at our feet. You should be able to see your toes. So your knees are going to be over the ankles and you can see your toes. Your legs are at right angles. This is where some people might need the blocks, but you probably won't need them. But we are forward of the chair, feet under, and now we're going to look at our feet and we're going to think of a triangle. So think of your big toe, your little toe and your heels, and that's made a triangle, and just get your weight centered into the center part of your foot, and we're going to do some lovely footwork shortly as well. So that's really your foundation for mountain pose in the lower half of the body. But firstly we're going to put our two fists together and place them between your knees and just slide them up a bit, and that's where you should be. So you'll know if your legs are out here, they're a little bit too wide. And I'll remind you of this during the class. We'll keep coming back to here. Now we're going to go to the upper body. So we've set our foundation for mountain pose. Imagine you've got a really tight pair of jeans on, or you're trying to do that zipper up. So you're zipping up. Can you tell what's happening already? Yes, you've engaged your core, haven't you? You're zipping right up and you're breathing at the same time. Sometimes when you do things like this, you forget to breathe. So please remember to breathe. So we're zipping up and then we're lifting the chest and opening the heart there. So we've got to, and we're breathing. Remember to keep breathing. So we've got the solid foundation down here, and we've got the zip coming up into the upper body. Now I want to do the shoulders up, back and down. And think about sliding your shoulder blades down your back. Still breathing. Now we make a fist, it doesn't matter which hand. Turn it upside down, bring it in underneath the chin. Keep breathing while you do this. Lengthen the back of the neck. It's made you sit nice and tall. We've got the shoulder blades sliding down the back. The shoulders are up, back and down. We've got our foundation. So this is almost like you're lifting up to the ceiling because you've got that nice alignment and the heart's still lifted. Does that feel good to you? Feels good to me. Alright, now we're going to put the hands on the legs and touch. You're going to feel like a yogi now. Touch the index finger and thumb, and you can have your palms up if you're receiving or energy, or you can have it down if you're grounding and calm. You might want to mix it up a little bit. So just check in with your body. How is it feeling? I'll remind you of that throughout the little journey today. And breathing. Remember we did that breathing before. As you inhale, the belly comes out, it rises. If you were laying down, it'd be rising. And as you exhale, it comes in. Alright, we've got our mountain pose. We're going to start with the feet. So we're going to lift the heels and lower them. Oh, I think I had a click then. And lift the heels up. So good for you. It is best done in bare feet. Some of you may prefer to have shoes on, or you might want socks on. But it is lovely done in your bare feet, especially when we do any footwork. It's a lovely feeling. So I would encourage you to have your bare feet, if you can. So up and down. Now we're going to go the other way. We're going to go back on our heels and toes down. And heels, very important that we do foot exercises to keep that circulation going. So you don't shuffle when you walk. Really important that we don't trip. And this whole class today is going to be done in the chair. I'm not going to be standing up for any of it. Sometimes we can stand up to do the balancing, but we're not going to do any of that today. We're actually even going to do a tree pose in the chair, but you can do it standing as well. That's it. Now let's do both together, toes and heels. That's it, working through the ankles and getting the blood flow down there and keeping that circulation going. Does that feel nice? And breathing. Alright, last one there. We'll go back on the heels. Now let's come to the shoulders. We're going to lift up, back and down. We did that before, but now we're going to circle. Lifting up, back and down. So I'm going to work through your joints and also through your muscles. Really from your toes to the crown of your head. And think about this all the time too, so that you still got that nice length in the back of your neck there. And your chin in alignment. So we don't want to be arching our chin out. We want to tuck that in and keep that in alignment. Now we'll go forward the other way. Lift up, back and down. And we're still breathing. How's your zip going? Has it come undone? Zip up those jeans and make sure that you're drawing that navel in and engaging the core. And breathing. Now I'd like to put the hands on the shoulders, and we're going to circle still, but we're going to bring the elbows up and down. Isn't that beautiful? It's a lovely feeling, isn't it? Just that mobility. Oh, feels so good. Lifting up, back and down. You can do this both ways. We might do it the other way as well. That's my favourite way, but we'll go the other way. Lift up and down. See, it's getting that mobility into the upper body. We need to be strong, we need to be balanced, and we need mobility. And we do lose some of that if we don't keep doing it. So really important. And down. And just come back. Check you're still in your mountain pose. Still see your toes. Still at right angles. Forward on the chair. Now we're going to work the wrists. We're going to circle them, moving them up. You just go to where you're comfortable, wherever your allied health professional has suggested you go or you do. Please do that. And then we'll go down the other way. If you're not meant to take your arms above your shoulder level, then don't. You can just stop here. Just circling the wrists down and breathing. And we're going to go up again. That's it, just circle the wrists. This is something you can do just sitting without doing the actual class. Very good for us. Keep those wrists going. I've got a nice exercise coming up later too for the for the wrists are keeping strong. That's it. Now my favourite one, shouldn't have a favourite but I do, body circles. I just love this circle around. This is something you could actually do. You hinge at the hips, try not to lean forward for your waist. You hinge at the hips, it's so beautiful. And just around you go in a circle. It's a lovely feeling and it gets that mobility in the upper body. It's such a simple thing that you think, well look, I could do this just sitting watching TV really, couldn't you? And that's the last one, we'll go the other way. Still breathing, around we go. Remember the breathing, it's really important throughout all your exercise. And the hand placement can be just as I am, or still could be the receiving or the grounding, it doesn't matter, nice big circles. We'll just do one more. Oh, that feels good. Now we're just going to lift one knee up and down. Now of course some of you may need an option. Some of you may have a hip issue or a knee issue. It's quite alright just to lift your foot off the floor and down. Don't feel that you have to do exactly what I'm doing. We're still sitting forward in the chair, so we're not leaning back towards the back of the chair. And you can have a cushion, as I mentioned earlier, that does support your back if you need it. So we're just lifting up, just getting that mobility. That's it, up and down. Now I'd like to hold underneath one leg, so lift up your right leg, try to keep your balance. Now you've switched on your core. So there's those genes, that's working in there. So hands under, you might only be able to lift this high or you may not be able to lift. But if you can, lift that knee up and we're just going to circle the foot around. More ankle work, more footwork. And still breathing. And we'll reverse the circle. And our last one. And down. You can do a little check here if you like, just to see if you're roughly in the right position. Shall we do the other leg? Your left leg, lift up. And it's quite alright just to leave it down here and do the circles, or you can lift it up and circle and breathe. You can see I'm doing the different joints, we're moving up the body. And reverse. Feeling those ankles moving, feeling that mobility. And we'll just do one more. And down. Now we're going to massage our knees. How good is this? When you go to a class and you get to massage yourself. So we're going to massage our knees. In fact, we've started them off. Let's go to the right one and just give it a good old little massage in there. I know a lot of us need this, myself included. Just massage wherever it's comfortable. Get the blood flow there. Still breathing. Don't have to worry too much about your posture in this one. We're just getting those knees and the circulation happening. That'll do. And let's go to the other knee. Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh, I needed this. This will get us ready for a few things I've got in mind. It's helping us to be aware of our bodies. And let's just finish off just a nice little rub. You might just want to rub your knees. And now we're going to sit back in mountain pose, see how good we are. So you can see the toes, we've got the triangle between the big toe, little toe and heel, legs at right angles, sitting tall, zipped up, chest high. And now we're going to take the hands out the side and we're going to turn the doorknob. So it doesn't matter which way you turn it first, you just turn whichever way is good for you. Now could you have a nice long gap between your ears and your shoulders? So you're not lifting your shoulders up here, they're down. And slide the shoulder blades down the back. And breathe. Now we're going to turn the doorknob the other way. Sometimes it gets harder to turn things, doesn't it? And open jars and all that. This is quite good, getting those wrists happening. Just getting the turn of the doorknob. and breathe. And that's our last one. Just give those hands a shake. We're going to come to stick pose now, which is why I wanted to warm up a few things before. So you can lean forward a little bit. We're not going to go too far forward. So you're hinging from your hips. You're not leaning forward from your waist. So just hinge a little bit from your hips, just a little bit, and we're going to lift that leg up again like we did before. Now if you can't lift it up, that's fine. You can leave your leg here. If you can lift it up, lift it up. So if you can get your balance, see how it's taken you off balance? That means you've got to recruit from in here. Engage the core, it's working. And breathe. And then we're just going to straighten that leg, that's what's called stick. And flex the foot. And keep breathing through all these exercises. Hold that stick pose there. If you need to have your leg down here, that's fine. Or just on the floor even. And we're going to point and flex the foot. Point and flex. So you can see we're working through the feet quite a bit today, and the wrists and the hips, trying to cover everything for you. So this is called stick pose. So you are a little bit forward in the chair. The reason I said to go forward is because I don't want you to be leaning back with bad posture. That's why I suggested you just leant a little bit forward, but you're really kind of upright. And now let's do some circles. If it's bothering you, you can bend your leg down more, but if you can hold the stick pose, are you feeling that up here? In your hamstrings they're called. They come down below your knee from right up the top here. And then reverse. And this is quite challenging, isn't it? So see if you can hold your stick pose. We've flexed and pointed, and we've done the circles. And last one, and down. They're still coming down to where we should be before we do the other one. And we lift the other leg up. So I just didn't want you to go back here with a curved back. That's why I said just sit up and lean a little bit forward, lift the leg, and now you can sit up nice and straight. And can you stretch that leg out with a flexed foot and breathe at the same time? I'm asking a lot, aren't I? And then point and flex the foot. It feels lovely in your feet. This is why I mentioned earlier about the shoes. It's much nicer with just socks on or bare feet. Much nicer than if you have got shoes on, but I do understand some of you would be more comfortable in your shoes, and that's fine. You have to listen to your body and trust yourself. You know what's right, or what your allied health professional has suggested for you to do. And now, so we do those circles, circle around, and while we're doing this, that leg is getting a stretch in the hamstring, so we're getting a bit of flexibility. And as I said, you can have your leg down or just off the floor if it's not comfortable for you. Now I know you're breathing. And reverse the circle. Feeling lovely. And down. And we do need to set up mountain again, so I always check myself that I can see my toes. I'm at right angles. I'm in a good spot. Now it is better with a chair without arms, but we can work with arms in the chair if you've got them, but it's better without. So we're going to stretch over and feel that in the side. Try not for your heels to come up. That's why we've got our solid foundation, remember? We've got that strong mountain pose. Now if you don't suffer from dizziness and you have got a good neck, you're okay. You can look down a little bit and breathe at the same time and get a very nice stretch into your neck as well. But you know if you shouldn't do that. And let's just come back to the centre, and we're going to do it the other way. So we're going to hold onto the chair and up. And with our chairs, we certainly don't want a chair that is on wheels, and you do need, like I've got a nice rug underneath here to make sure the chair isn't going to slip, especially if you're on a wooden floor. If you're dizzy, please just look forward, or if you've got a bad neck, don't worry to look down. So if you're on a wooden floor and you've got a slippery chair, that's not good either. Come back up, we'll do that again. But it's really important that you have got the rug and a chair without wheels. So now you can turn and look, or you can look straight ahead. I do like turning because I'm getting a lovely stretch through my side, all the way up and into my neck. And I'm breathing and come back. We're going to do that again. Over we go. Or you can just stay there and look down. We're really lengthening the body, doing some nice extension work as well. And back to the middle again. Now we're going to come to heaven and earth. So if you take your right hand, and we're going to push it down to the earth, and the left hand's pushing away the heavens. You're lengthening out through the crown of the head. If you've got a good neck, you can look up, or I'll stay where I was there and come back down again. And we'll go the other way, looking up if you've got a good neck, or just straight ahead with your neck in alignment at the back. We're pushing down to the floor. That feels good after the one we just did. Feels nice and lengthening, doesn't it? And we're breathing. Let's go again. And we're pushing up to the heavens, pushing down to the earth. And you can just look straight ahead this time if you like. Think about sliding your shoulder blades down your back, tucking that chin in so we've got that fist under the chin feel. But you're still lengthening through the crown of the head. And back and the other way. Lift and push. And look straight ahead again. And release it down. And come back in to our mountain pose. I'm going to do a stronger stretch for your torso and waist. So we've got our strong foundation. This time you're going to hold the back of the chair. So take your right hand to the outside if you can, or just to your knee, the opposite leg. You're going to hold the back of the chair. You can hold the bottom of the back of the chair. It's probably a little bit nicer on your neck. I'll do that, I think. And keep your knees, try for them not to go anywhere. See if they can point forward. And you're just going to spiral around and twist. It's a very strong stretch into your back. And keep breathing, everybody. And now do your zips up again. Do those zips up while you're breathing. And feel that nice strong stretch into your waist and back. And come back to centre. That's beautiful, isn't it? We'll go the other way. So you put your hand on the other knee or that leg, and we're going to hold the bottom. Some people do hold the top of the chair, but I think we'll stick today with just holding the bottom of the chair, and keep breathing and try to keep that core engaged so that you're not letting go, because it does protect your lower back too if you've got those jeans zipped up. Deep breaths and come back to centre. I know you want to do that again, so we will. So hand towards the leg and around. You might just hold the back of the actual chair, but wherever it's good for you, as long as you're feeling it. It's a nice holding the bottom, I think, because it's actually quite comfortable and it's really strong into the back. Keep breathing and centre. And any time, got one more to go here, that you to have a little break, just have a break. Wipe yourself with that towel, have a drink. Don't feel you have to, especially the first time you do it, you might want to have little breaks and just do some of the class and gradually build up so that you're doing the whole video. But just always listen to your body and respect your body, and back to the centre again. Really important that we respect our bodies. We're forward on the chair, remember. We're going to take our legs wider this time. And bringing your hands to prayer, as we are forward on the chair. And just leaning into that. And breathing. If your knees aren't comfortable here, move them back in where they were before. But you're getting that extra flexibility through the inner leg, and the thighs are feeling it, aren't they? So hands to the heart centre, to prayer, and just leaning into it, but hinging from the hips, not curving the back. This is going to lead us into a beautiful exercise. And we'll come back in. Now I'm not going to come back to an exact mountain pose because I want to show you this little block again. This is where some of you might need a block, and you can put your foot under that. So you'll see, try this with me now, and then you'll see what you need for your body. So now we're going to still stay forward on the chair, and this knee's going to stay out. We're going to turn this one around so it's more straight ahead. So this heel should line up with that arch. And if you can, you're going to straighten that leg. And now we've got to zip up those jeans. And then we lift the arms, not up high, we lower them down. So there's a big gap between your ears and shoulders. And you're going to look over to that middle finger here, my lovely chakra bracelet. Going to look over that middle finger, keeping the shoulders down, breathing. If this knee's uncomfortable, you can bend this leg in and just hold that pose. That should be fairly comfortable for you. Otherwise, They do this, the real yogis, standing up, and we'll progress to that one day, maybe, won't we? And holding that and just releasing down. And we're going to bring the legs in a little bit and we'll go the other way. So now you're going to turn your left leg out and your right leg is going to go forward. So I'm going to just come forward on the chair. Got my heel lined up with the inner step of the other foot. Jeans zipped up. Don't fall off the front of your chairs. Make sure you've got the squishy bits on enough of the chair there. Long gap between the ears and shoulders. This is called Proud Warrior. And we're going to turn, and you'll feel the strength in your legs. This is a leg strengthening exercise. And it might be enough for you already. You may think, oh no, my arms are hurting or my legs are hurting. Then please come out of it. Or as I gave you the option before to bend this leg back around, you can. But it's certainly strengthening those legs, isn't it? Nice deep breaths. Shoulder blades sliding down the back. You'll be able to progress longer and longer with this one. And release it down. And we'll walk our legs back in. Walk your feet in if you like. Still come onto the chair but not too far forward, still towards the front. And let me see you set up your mountain pose. See your toes, legs at right angles, knees over the ankles. Got my fists coming in, jeans zipped up. Now another one of my favourites, we're going to do cat and cow. And once again you hinge from the hips, you don't curve. So we're going to, this is the cow, and you are allowed to look up a little bit, this one, towards where the wall meets the ceiling. And you can have your thumb and finger together either that way or that way as before. And then we curve back. I'm letting you curve this time. This is the cat. You've seen cats do this, and you can tuck your chin in a little bit. They do, don't they? They really hump that back up. And we're going to do a few of these because it's so beautiful. And forward we go. Lift your heart, and you can look to where the wall meets the ceiling if you're comfortable to do that. How does your body feel today? And let's come back. Do what feels right for your body. Curve back, still breathing. So just forward we go. There's the cow, hinging from the hips, looking towards where the wall meets the ceiling, and then back like a cow, curving that back. And back to the centre. And back to our mountain pose. Let's bring our hands to heart centre and just breathe before we do our next two poses, which are a little more challenging. So as I said earlier, if you think you've had enough today, you might want to build up to these. And release. We're going to do eagle pose. I'm going to give you a nice easy option for eagle with your hands because they do get a bit twisted, but option one is just to put the backs of your hands together. That's all. And that may be enough for some of you. And you may be able to lift or you may not be able to lift, but that's what the arms can do as option one. Also with option one is you can bring your foot just in towards the other foot. So we're in mountain, but it's just in towards it. Or it can fold out a little bit to the side. Now if it's your right leg going out, ideally, remember this is your option, and some of you may need that, and you can take your right hand under and try and wrap the hands and then lift the arms up, and it's such an intense stretch in that upper back. Keep breathing with this one. But you remember you can have your hands in the, just the wrist, the back of the wrist touching. Release, that's probably enough. And down, and roll back. Roll back. Oh, lovely. Now we're going to eagle the other way. So we've got our mountain. Option one is just to bring there. Option two, let the knee fall out. Remember, that's quite pleasant, holding it that way. Now we're going to try and take the left arm under. We wrap. It's quite hard, isn't it? And I think you can practice this one, and we lift up. There are ones where we do cross our leg over the calf and cross it around. This is called eagle. But sometimes it's nice just to do the easier option of the wrists, back of the hands touching. And down. I think we need a bit of a shoulder roll after that, don't we? That's it, just lift up, back and down. Maybe even shrug the shoulders gently, lift and lower, because it's quite intense in the shoulder back area. Right, now we've got a big stretch to finish with, our tree pose, and I'm going to give you options. So we've got our mountain pose. This is a little bit challenging, so we're going to give you a couple of options. You can just leave your foot down here crossed over, which a lot of you may need. I'll invite you to lift this leg up. Can you get to there where your heel, your foot is actually flexed, and that protects this knee. That's why we do that. We keep the knee protected. And we're going to bring our hands up to tree pose and hold it there and breathe. Now you can do this standing and you can do this holding onto a chair, but we're doing it seated in a chair, which is what is so wonderful about chair yoga. Some of you may find that challenging through your hip area. Stay there if you can. So just remember, this is your option. And if that's too much for you, you can bring your hands to heart center. Many options with this. So whatever's good, but that's protecting our knee by having the foot flexed. And it's a tree pose. You can see what's a tree pose, can't you? And just release it down. And breathe. All right, we'll do the other leg. So we're in our mountain pose. Remember, you can just cross, or you can lift that leg up and flex the foot and protecting our knee. It's good to be mobile. It's really good to keep our flexibility and mobility, isn't it? So whichever of those is good for you, ask your body how it's feeling today. Do what feels good for you. I always think you should honour your body, respect your body, and do what's right for you. And keep breathing and zip those jeans up again. Engage that core. Remember, you can have your hands to heart center if that's too strong for you. And you can have your foot down in the first option that I showed you. Nice deep breaths. And release it down. And we're almost there. Just bring the leg back down. Perhaps just do some ups and downs with the feet just to see how they feel. And we'll come back to mountain, the toes, the right angle, the lower body foundation. And then remember the upper body. We've got that nice long spine. Got the length through the top of the head there, the shoulder blades sliding down. Either having your receiving or your grounding, whatever's right for you. And we're going to move into a lovely relaxation now, where I will invite you to close your eyes. So for now, you don't have to sit where you are. You can sit back in the chair if you're more comfortable, lean on your cushion, you can do what you wish with your feet, whatever feels comfortable. And you can either have your gaze lowered, and you can have the hands giving and grounding, whatever's right. Or you might want to play with one and the other. And you don't have to be mountain pose. And we're just going to do a beautiful relaxation with your eyes closed or looking down. Today I'm going to do it about gratitude. Just being grateful. So let's focus on the breath and just relax the fingers in any position that's right for you. And you can slouch back a bit if you wish. So remember, as you inhale, your belly rises, and as you exhale, it falls back in. So what I'd like to try to get you to do is think in your head of a count as you breathe in. Let's say that took 5 counts. Breathe out for 6. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Or you can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's do a couple more of those. Your breath count might be a 6, so breathe out for 7. Just notice how relaxed you're feeling. This is very relaxing. Just quietening ourselves down. Let's do one more deep breath. And breathe out just a little bit longer. Slow it down. Just slow that breath down. And we're going to bring our attention to our face. Firstly, your jaw. Relax the jaw and the throat. Soften the cheeks out to the ears and the crown of the head. The crease between the eyebrows is gone. Quiet behind the eyes. Softening, relaxing, releasing. If you're holding any tension, just let that tension go. Work with your breath. And just release through the shoulders and the neck. Just feeling heavy down into the seat now, into your chair. The whole back of the body, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, right down into the buttocks, just sinking into the chair. And still slowing that breath down. Feel your fingers just relaxing, your arms, your legs all the way down, the knees that you massaged, right down to your feet and toes. Allow your body to soften. Feel the calmness and the peacefulness. And be grateful. Feel the gratitude. And we'll just sit for a minute before I bring you back. And just bringing the awareness back into the room. And if your eyes are closed, just lower the gaze and just blink a couple of times to open. And everyone just bringing their head to center. And breathing. You may notice that you feel quite calm and peaceful and relaxed because your breath has slowed down. It's a lovely way to finish, isn't it? To do. You can do this every day. It's a very healthy, good thing to do. So I hope you've enjoyed our Active Aging Australia video. And until next time, namaste.